and welcome to the Surrey Sports Park for this BBL Championship clash between the Surrey Heat and the Newcastle Eagles right here on Sky Sports. Every game is a must-win for the Eagles in their relentless push for a 6th league title in 8 seasons, especially now they've dropped behind Leicester in the standings. Speaking of dropping, Surrey have fallen out of the top 4, having been challengers for the first few months. They need to get things back on track. Before we get to the action, here's how they stand in the championship table. Leicester, top by 2 points from Newcastle. Those two already assured of the playoffs, but the title is on their mind. Glasgow have been in scintillating form of late. They share 3rd place with Plymouth. Surrey are 4 points back, but with a couple of games in hand. Worcester also in the hunt for a top 4 berth, just 1 defeat behind the other 3. London have regained 7th. Sheffield, plenty of games to make up. Cheshire and Manchester tied for 9th. Durham just 2 points behind them. Well, today I'm joined by a very interested spectator. His Raiders side sit between these two teams in the league table. It's Plymouth boss Gavin Love. Gavin, great to have you with us. First news of the day. 3 Holmeses out there for Surrey once again. Travis Holmes back in the team.
Yeah, I think with the arrival of Travis Holmes for Surrey, they now boast, in my opinion, the best backcourt in British basketball, and it's going to be an exciting prospect to see them out there today.
Travis just got off a plane, 8 o'clock this morning, flying back into the country. We'll see how many minutes he can muster. But we talk about backcourts. Newcastle with problems of their own at the other end. Hoffman injured, Flanoy injured.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be tough. Hoffman certainly does spread the floor and runs the team to perfection, and Fab Flanoy brings that intensity and leadership. So without those two, I think it's going to be exciting. I wouldn't like to bet against Newcastle, but with the home court advantage, with the crowd behind them, I think that Surrey may do it today.
Surrey have been out of form in recent weeks, lost their last 4 games, 6 of the last 7, but those games have coincided with Travis Holmes not being in the team, and he certainly gives them a different complexion.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would say that Travis Holmes is an MVP candidate, and his brother by his side is, Batman and Robin. I mean, they've done a fantastic job. I think Travis is really going to turn their season around, and we'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be scary for Newcastle this evening.
And certainly Newcastle, going for the league title, can afford no more slips. If they win out, they will win the league. If they lose a game, it starts to go out of their hands.
Well, I mean, I think Fab will be saying we've got to take 1 game at a time. But like I said, they're more than capable. But you've also got Leicester playing great basketball. You've got other teams now are really improving the league. You've got the Sheffield. Cheshire took 1 game off Newcastle the other day. There's so many great teams out there this season. It's exciting. I think it's going to be the best last third of a season that we've seen in many a year.
Well, I'm in agreement with Gavin. Let's see what the coaches thought about tonight's game. I spoke to them both earlier. Well, Creon, you're back to full strength. Travis Holmes back in the lineup for you guys. You must be delighted.
Yeah, it's great to have him back. Obviously, he's just got off a plane, so we'll see how he's feeling minutes-wise. But this is going to be a big game. We know that Newcastle can't afford to drop another game, and also we're on a bit of a slump right now, so I really want us to dig deep and pull out a win today.
Yeah, how much can you expect from a guy who only arrived in the country at 8 a.m. this morning?
It's all going to come down to how he's feeling. We'll see what his legs look like, how he's hustling up on defense, because that's where we want to feed off our defensive rotations. And if he's got the legs underneath him, we'll leave him in there as long as we need to.
And you guys, as you say, you've been a bit of a slump of form over recent weeks. How do you go about snapping that?
I think we just need to trust each other. I think the game we lost in Plymouth was a tough one to take the way we lost it. Obviously, we went up to Worcester, they shot their lights out. But, we're not pressing any panic buttons. We know that we kind of mathematically need games to go, other teams to drop games to win the championship. But it's about trying to maintain a certain level of play getting into the playoffs.
And Newcastle shown a little vulnerability with their injury problems. Do you feel they're a good time to play them?
I don't think there's ever a good time to play Fab's teams. He does such a great job with them. They play really hard, but it is tough when you're down a player or 2. So we've gone through that. We know it's not easy. We'll just have to play our best game because we know with the Newcastle team, they're champions, and they're going to play hard every time they step onto the floor.
Good luck. Thanks. Well, Fab, injury update. First of all, yourself, Damon Hoffman, both been out. Will either of you play tonight?
No. We're close, but just not right there. Just not as close as I would like.
And it's a big blow to lose the point guard, and you often back up that point guard position, so it's a double whammy.
Yeah, I mean, it is from our backcourt standpoint. We bring different things to the table. Damon is a great player, smart player, and I'm probably more from the defensive standpoint. But we have Anthony Martin and Joe Chapman who will pick up the slack in that department.
And you bit thin on the ground in guards, and you walk in here and see Travis Holmes back for the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit disappointed. I know the Surrey fans are extremely happy in seeing him, but you know, it's the trio Holmes back together again.
And a lot was made of your defeat to Cheshire, but the title chances still very much in your own hands. If you win all your games, you win the league.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about it. It's in our hands. We have to win every basketball game, and we have to play well, and our margin for error is very small, and that's what happened in the Cheshire game. You know, we had too many errors, and they took care of the game, and here we are, back against the wall, and best position for us to be, so now there's no excuses.
Well, tip-off here at the Surrey Sports Park, just about 90 seconds away. Just enough time for us to run through the team rosters, starting with the Heat. We saw the beginning of Surrey's dip in form, their defeat up in Manchester, which was the first in the ill-fated return of Martell McLemore. He's since been ruled out for the season. They've managed to replace him with Travis Holmes coming back. His brother Travis Holmes has been a legitimate MVP candidate, and in Frank Holmes, Julius Joseph, Sam Cricelli, Albert Margai, they certainly have the pieces, Gavin, to right this ship, get back to their early season form.
Oh, they certainly do. I think Travis is going to be a huge, pickup for these guys, and there's a lot of factors in this game, Daniel. Can they contain Charles Smith and Joe Chapman? Can they keep Newcastle off the board? They certainly have the talent, and I think they can do it today.
Well, let's take a look at the Newcastle Eagles lineup. No Fab Flanoy, he's out injured. Damon Huffman not playing, we're told. He is dressed like he's going to play, and he has gone through the warm-ups, but we're told he's not playing. But they have four guys in the top scorers in the BBL, led by the evergreen Charles Smith, averaging 21 points a game. They pride themselves on their defense, but they have a lot of weapons at the offensive end.
Well, I mean, Daniel, they're a complete basketball team. That's why they have so many trophies in their cabinet. They can score in bunches, but Fab really prides himself on his defense, and they're a defensive team, and it certainly does lead to their offense.
Well, the Newcastle Eagles are about to make their way out, and a former Newcastle Eagle in the crowd with the Eagle fans supporting Kadiri Richard, getting along to see his old team play here today.
Former dunk contest winner Kadiri Richards, a great personality for the BBL. I'm sure we'll see him again.
He was in the dunk contest at the Cup final earlier this season as well, and went running out in a Newcastle shirt. He still tied his colours to that mask. Well, we're about ready to go, and it's Anthony Martin who starts in the backcourt for the Newcastle Eagles in the absence of Huffman and Flanoy. And all the handshakes have been completed. Referee about to walk into the middle, and it'll be Defoe and Frank Holmes to jump it up. Not a very clean one, but it ends up back with Martin, and Newcastle will get the first offense of the game. Chapman, who's had to play a fair bit of point guard during this injury spell, not his natural position. Here's Maddox with a turnaround, and if he's hitting that shot, it's going to be tough to guard him.
That's a tough shot. That's a tough shot. Great defense, but he managed to drop the two down.
Chavis Holmes bringing it across the halfway line. Frank Holmes coming into the low post. Defoe fighting with him for the position. They do get it into Frank. Frank with the fake pass, drives in off the glass. A little too strong. Nice move. Just needs to be a bit softer off the glass. Here's Maddox, who's got great handle for a big guy. Round to Chapman from behind the arc. That one doesn't go. And Holmes pulls in the rebound. Holmes bouncing it in. They're certainly looking to go to Frank Holmes early on. He's missed a couple of easy ones, but they can't score there either. Eventually, Frank Holmes puts it in for them.
Pounding the ball inside early.
Defoe is on the floor. Hurt himself. I don't know whether he maybe caught a forearm in the face. Let's see if we can see from the replays. Frank goes up, nothing in there. Oh, he just got a little accidental arm across the face, I think.
I think he looked like he got a bit of poked in the eye there, Daniel.
Well, it's either the eye or the nose. I think it is the eye.
He's a tough guy. I'm sure he'll be back.
And Joe Ickenwin into the game for the first time for the Eagles. Martin. Here's the first touch for the big number 14. Chapman. Chapman fires up, hand in his face from behind the arc, doesn't go. Good offensive rebounds from Ickenwin. Now he's looking for some options, finds Maddox. Maddox, little crossover, spins back in the corner. Martin for three, they've left him open and Martin hits. Not a renowned three-point shooter, but knocked that one down.
He's not, but you certainly can't give him that much room.
Holmes round the screen from Crichelli, dumps it back off to him. Round to Travis Holmes at the top, into Frank Holmes. Frank with the rearrange. Oh, Frank had all of the bubbles so far here in the first couple of minutes. He could have 6 or 8.
He could indeed, but he's getting himself in good situations there, and he's certainly crashing the boards. I'm sure the next one will go down for him.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to like the work that he's put in. He's just not had a home court role yet. Not loose, but saved right. No, it's pulled down eventually by Frank Holmes, and the Heat have it. Nobody stopped the ball. Travis Holmes to the finger roll. And it eventually comes in to Crichelli. Joseph, he just stepped out of court. And they've had a lot of really good looks. Sorry, they've just not made enough of them.
They have indeed, but that's a good thing. You know, they'll start making those shots. It's a little bit scrappy to start with, but they certainly come out with intention to play today.
Certainly come out with the intention to attack the basket as well. Everything going to the hole for Surrey in these opening couple of minutes. There's Charles Smith, first shot of the game for him. Little short Maddox going off the offensive glass. Chapman now penetrates, good dish. Oh, and it slipped through the hands of Charles Smith. Newcastle still have it though. Chapman to Martin in the corner, a little closer this time, same result.
Anthony Martin with 5 points.
Great dish by Joe Chapman, a nice little jump shot by Ant Martin. He's looking ready today.
Sorry, get it round to Crichelli for three, short. Frank Holmes gets it thanks to a little help from Albert Margai. Good pass to Holmes going to the basket, gets it back. Travis Holmes from the top of the key for two. Smith across to Maddox. Maddox, oh great pass. Tremendous vision. Again, I talked about his ball handling skills as a big man. He's a pretty good distributor as well.
He really is smart guy, great hands.
Wow, amazing how the Heat just can't seem to get anything to bobble in here on their own home court. Smith with the pull-up. Oh, long way short. Air ball from Charles Smith. When was the last time you saw that?
Not for a while, Daniel. Certainly not against us, anyway.
Foul is called.
Against 14,
just caught from behind. In fact, it was Joseph in front of him who was whistled for the foul. I thought at first they'd caught it on Holmes. Lobbed into Smith. Smith spinning baseline, little floater, 2 air balls in a row from Charles Smith. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Me neither.
Defensive foul drawn there by Crichelli.
It's certainly a key matchup there, though, Daniel, with Charles Smith and Julius Joseph. We'll see who gets a bit of that matchup this evening.
First foul against the Eagles.
Just too much speed there for him, if anything else. Here's Joseph with the quick release three, and he was almost an air ball there. That might just scrape the front of the ring. Maddox throws it cross court to Martin. Smith trying to get past Joseph, pulls up. This time he draws iron, but it doesn't bobble in for him. Oh, nice move from Chavis Holmes. I think Maddox might have got a little piece of that. Good steal by Frank Holmes. Trying to feed it inside, ripped away by Charles Smith. Eagles out on the break, Maddox on the trail, just bobbles in for him. Timeout called here at the Surrey Sports Park. It's the Heat 4, the Eagles 11.
Once the players take a break, we will too. More action when we return.
Back out come the two teams.
Simek
Simek into the game for the first time for the Heat, who will have possession, and also into the game for the first time on his return, on his second debut, if you like, is Travis Holmes, number 31. Margai, that's a ambitious pass, I think is the best we can describe it as. Maddox has it. Defoe back into the game after that early knock, jammed in by Maddox.
You've got to keep him off the offensive glass, Daniel. I mean, Kareem Maddox is having a great year, and he's just so long and athletic and hungry for the ball.
It's Crucelli. Maddox third in the league in rebounding this season. Margai trying to bounce that through. It's kicked away by Defoe, so that will reset the shot clock to 14.
Into the game for the first time for the Kalen
Kalen Raftopoulos coming into the game for the first time, and it's been a bit of a topic in recent weeks in the games we've covered here on Sky Sports, how teams get deep into their bench early on in games. Started when Leicester went 9 deep in their game, then Sheffield and Manchester both did it in the first quarter, and Surrey have got 8 guys out on court already. Travis Holmes' first shot is short. Good work from Crucelli to keep it alive, and the foul is called on either Smith or Chapman. It's Smith.
First personal, second team foul, third foul in the game.
Raftopoulos. Good hands from Martin, got up quick to knock that away. Chapman out and running, looking for some trailers, finds Defoe, but it was overthrown and Raftopoulos had the steal. Defoe thought he might have been fouled. Holmes to Joseph, and he lays it in for 2. Got himself set there, Julius Joseph. Made sure he wasn't going to get the bobble outs like the rest of his team.
Absolutely, safety first.
Smith for 3. Not quite had the legs on his shots today, Charles Smith. Defoe trying to go to work. Good hands from Crucelli to knock it loose. So Joseph got himself in all sorts of muddle there, and Charles Smith has the easiest score of the game.
Easiest 2 points he'll ever score.
Both teams playing very active defense. A lot of turnovers today already.
Joseph. Raftopoulos. Simek in the paint, screaming for it, couldn't get it. Raftopoulos penetrates, fires up high, doesn't quite go. Rebound Joseph, and he shows them how it's done again, close in. Chapman drives through, and Joe Chapman is fouled. And Newcastle looking to try and push down court quickly. I think they think Surrey might be a little slow transition defense and try and punish that.
Yeah, I mean, Surrey are a decent transition team, to be honest with you, but Newcastle are trying to push the pace, particularly Anthony Martin out there. They're doing a good job, and Surrey, you know, I think they're finding themselves in the game and just being a bit more comfortable now.
Oh, good work from Maddox. He tried to keep it alive by bouncing it off Crucelli in the hope it would go out of bounds to his possession. Even better, it bounced to his teammate, he scored.
Well, Smith and Joseph known as perimeter players, but both getting the hard work done inside today.
Lobbed inside to Simek, blocked, thrown out by Darius Defoe. Tremendous recovery. Martin pushing it, finds Smith in transition, and there's a block by Simek at the other end. Fast break from one end to the other. Holmes dumps off to Crucelli for 2.
Great execution there.
Chile for 2. Great quick break for Leeds.
Well, frantic moment of play there from both teams. Smith open, there's a cardinal sin to leave Charles Smith open on the three-point line.
That's not the guy you want to leave open, Daniel, that's for certain.
He may have missed his first couple of shots, but he wasn't going to miss that one, and Simic finds his way to the hole for 2. Very open game at the moment, very up and down. And Newcastle profiting thus far. Maddox trying to drive baseline, gets up in the air, kicks out Smith, open again, not this time. Simic with the rebound, but I think he pushed Defoe out of the way, and that's why he grabbed the board and foul is called on him. Here's another look at it, Gavin, you can just see.
Well, Darius is a big guy. I'm not sure that would have bothered him too much, but there's a clear little push in the back there. It's a good call.
Cuccelli sitting down as the ball is inbounded to Chapman. Frank Holmes got a little hand on that, but not enough to knock it away from Maddox. He goes past and ball moves out of bounds, and it's a Heat ball.
Sorry, Heat packing it in there.
Chavez Holmes brings it forward. Across to his twin brother Travis. All 3 Holmes on the court at the same time now. Here's Travis. Fires up, short. There's Frank with the tip on the rebound. Simic throws it back to Raftopoulos. Little floater, not enough on that. And Maddox will bring it forward. Maddox against Raftopoulos. He's certainly got the height in that matchup, and he went past him. Dumped off to Defoe, who converts. Thought for a second there was a foul whistle blown there.
It did sound like one of the officials did blow the whistle. Maybe it was inadvertent.
Yeah, that's what the referee said. It was an inadvertent whistle because they thought it was a foul and should have been a free throw to come as well. And here it is, he's inside. They thought that was a foul, and there was the referee at the top on the three-point line, I think, accidentally blew the whistle.
I'm the official, Daniel, but it did look like there was a little contact on the arm there, but they got the 2 points.
Time ticking down here in the first quarter. Heat trying to take the last shot. Holmes out to Raftopoulos. Raftopoulos tosses up an even longer floater, and that's a good way to finish the first quarter for the Heat.
It is indeed. What a great shot. He's had that look a couple of times in the first quarter and managed to make that one drop. Great job.
But Newcastle in the box seat here, up 8. Surrey will still feel that there's some points that they left out on the court there in that first quarter, and they'll feel they're still well within this game.
Oh, certainly. I think they've missed a few gimme buckets underneath the basket. But I have to say, by the looks of this game already, Daniel, I mean, both teams need to take care of the defensive glass. I don't know, there's been too many offensive rebounds for both teams, but, you know, it's definitely up and down in an exciting basketball game.
15 offensive rebounds in the first quarter between them. We'll have second period action after this break. Welcome back to Guildford, where the Surrey Heat trail the Newcastle Eagles by 8 points here in the first quarter, end of the first quarter, and 15 misses from Surrey in that first quarter, many of them easy ones, is the reason they trail at this stage in the game. But in some ways, Gavin, it's about getting the good looks. Eventually they'll start to go in.
Oh, absolutely. I think you've got to be pretty confident with how they've played, and as long as they put that right in the second quarter, I think they'll be feeling pretty confident.
Raftopoulos hit from the corner, hit a nice runner to end the first quarter, a 3 to start the second.
Great passing, continuing where he left off, Daniel.
Cuts the lead down to 5. Smith, they've got to get out to him. They just got there in time, forced him to pass it, almost lost by Maddox. Smith steps under this time. They get Maddox open. That shot doesn't go. Frank Holmes is first to it. Frank Holmes off and running, and the big man wisely waits for a guard to come and help him out. Travis Holmes saw Simic open underneath, but the pass was deflected out of bounds.
5 points the difference.
Travis Holmes. Frank Holmes offering the screen. Turns the corner. Goes back the other way. There's Raf Topless. Thought about another three. Penetrates instead. He's doing it all. And suddenly he's come up with 7 in a row.
Somebody's got to go out and guard that young man.
Chapman. Somebody's got to guard him as well. That one's long. Rebound. Holmes kicked it out long to his brother, and it's almost telepathic there, that pass. And they've come out to a blistering start here with the first 7 points of this quarter to make it a 1-point game.
What a start. What a start. They couldn't ask for much more. Newcastle looking a little bit disjointed there on offense and too many turnovers.
And a tremendous outlet pass on that replay to find his twin brother. I mean, he was under pressure throwing it, under pressure catching it, but they managed to pull it off.
Fantastic.
Timeout called very early here. First minute of the second quarter. Fab Flanoy not very happy. Which is he more upset about, the defense or the offense?
I think, to tell you the truth, I think I'd be pretty upset with both at the moment. The offense just looks a bit stagnant. They're not really moving the ball well. Defensively, you know, the kids come in, young Raptopoulos, you see a floater, a 3, and then you can't let him just stroll down the lane like that again.
Well, that's the thing, is sometimes it's about recognizing who's got the hot hand, and they certainly didn't do that, leaving Raptopoulos to penetrate through again. Fab Flanoy using the full minute of this timeout to get his message across. And I suppose the one thing being injured does give Fab is it gives him the ability to coach the game as a coach without having to worry about his own performance.
Oh, it certainly does. I mean, the player coaches in this league, they've done a fantastic job. It's certainly a tough job on the sidelines, but to have the players well, so I'm sure Fab is relishing that opportunity to take a break.
Are you still there, Newcastle? You don't need to make some noise for your guys.
Here's
We've got a ball game. It's 21-22.
Martin. Maddox at the top, shot clock getting low. Maddox with a little fall away, that's another top one. In some ways, the shots he's made in this game have been the more difficult ones.
Yeah, yes indeed.
Travis Holmes to Frank Holmes at the free throw line, knocks it down.
23-24.
Smith onto Chapman, driving along the baseline. Smith with a little one-handed floater, and he knocks that down.
All scorers with 9 points.
Holmes, same spot, a little short this time. Newcastle with a chance to push, and nobody pushes better than Martin. Good hands for Holmes to knock it away. He's, as you will well know, Gavin, he's lightning quick out on the break, Anthony Martin.
He is indeed. He's a lightning quick point guard. He's pass first guy, and he's certainly started this game great. But you know, I would like to see him push the ball more and really light a fire under Newcastle.
Chapman thought about the 3, decided against it. Gets it to Smith. Smith under pressure, not quite. Tipped in by Maddox.
Number 11, Kareem Maddox.
He's into double figures now with 10 here. Charles Smith carrying the offensive load with 19 between them. And Simmons, they're giving them that shot at the top of the key.
Yeah, they seem to be giving up that foul line jump shot, and Surrey, to their credit, just seem to be knocking them down.
Maddox on pace for a first half double-double. Smith from behind the arc, big high bounce, Simic pulls in the rebound. Get it out quickly to Holmes. Holmes to the glass, to rearrange. Great finish. Not often Newcastle get caught out in transition like that.
At the moment, Daniel, Surrey seem to be playing with a little bit more energy than Newcastle.
Chapman inside to Smith. Smith had it knocked loose by Holmes, but illegally so. Travis Holmes, his foul, and Smith will go to the line for a couple of free throws. Just caught him on the wrist.
He's so tough down there, Daniel. I mean, he uses his body better than anybody in the league.
Charles Smith makes the first free throw. He's into double figures now with 10. This will make him the game's leading scorer.
2 out of 2 for Smith. Shoots over 80%.
It's amazing how Charles Smith just continues to be a dominant offensive player year after year in the BBL.
Well, he's got impeccable footwork. He's got the sweetest stroke in the BBL. He can go on for as long as he chooses.
Normally you expect to see a guy when he gets past 35 to slow down a little bit offensively. None of it from Charles Smith, though.
Not at all. No, he's been fantastic.
Chapman round the screen from Smith. Tries to turn the corner on Joseph, does exactly that. Had him for foot speed there.
Chapman's first points of the game.
Holmes, that's an easy one, but can't convert. Good block from Smith. Frank Holmes keeps it alive. That didn't hit the ring, any of those shots in there, so there's no reset of the shot clock. Raftopoulos turns the corner. Little stop and go, dances underneath. Got to shoot this, Joseph, but he stepped out of bounds. It's the second time he's been caught on that near sideline.
It is.
Back into the game, the kick win.
And I sound like a broken record because it seems like every week I go on it. Since they moved the three-point line, it is amazing how many more guys step out of bounds down in that sideline. They only moved it about 2 or 3 inches in the corner.
I know, Dan, you'd think guys would be used to it by now.
Chapman wants it, Chapman gets it. Here's Maddox showing his range from behind the arc, doesn't quite go. Batted out by Defoe to Smith. Smith with a little spin, tosses it up. Another offensive rebound, this time it's Maddox, and there's a foul in there.
I mean, Kareem Maddox has, well, I think, 7 or 8 offensive rebounds already. I mean, sorry, just got to get a body on him. Although that's easier said than done.
That was offensive rebound number 7 in the game for Kareem Maddox. His 9th in total. So he's a rebound away from a double-double inside 15 minutes.
And he's hit some incredible shots doing it too.
He has. Can't make the first free throw. Can't make either free throw. He was shooting 60-odd% from the floor, but misses a couple from the line, but a bit of a break there for Newcastle.
Oh, absolutely. He's so versatile down. You just saw him take a 3-point shot. He's crossing people over. He's guarding the point guard down here at times. I mean, he's just a fantastic asset to the Newcastle Eagles.
Smith. Chapman penetrates, kicks out to Ignorant. Defoe, a little mid-range jumper knocks it down.
Darius has greatly improved his mid-range jump shot this season.
Simic going to work inside, lays it in for 2.
Tough move. Dropped his shoulder and went to work.
Eagles leading by 5 here. Chapman all day to set his feet. And actually, it's more of a surprise that Joe Chapman misses one that open than
You don't see him do that too often.
Well, that's a couple of times they've lost Smith or Chapman out on the 3-point line. You can't afford to do that. Chavez Holmes fires up from behind the arc, doesn't quite go. And there is the 10th rebound of the game for Maddox. So 16 minutes, he's already got a double-double, and he goes coast to coast.
Coast to coast, Daniel. You've got to stop the ball. This guy's doing it all this season.
12 points, 10 rebounds. Margai hits from behind the arc. Timeout is called by Newcastle. Just a tick under 4 minutes to go. It's a 4-point game. And Martin will bring it forward for Newcastle. Defoe. Back door goes Martin, and he lays it in. Good feed from Defoe to find him.
That's a great pass from the big man. Great backdoor cut by Anthony Martin. Big finish. He's having a really solid game, young Anthony Martin, today.
Cricelli. Inside to Frank Holmes. Oh, he's had another one bobble out. It's like there's a lid on there for Frank. Smith, good hands from Cricelli to bat that one up in the air. And Coach Raftopoulos, just in front of us, turns to his bench and goes, layups, layups. He can't believe how many easy ones his team have had bobble out. I mean, you almost hesitate to say miss the way the ring's just been that unkind to them. Maybe second half they'll get those ones to go in. Defoe inside, he's fouled, he'll go to the line for a bonus.
Certainly is frustrating, Daniel, but at the same time, you know, he's doing a lot of hard work down there, getting himself in that position, making a tough move. It's just, you know, just being unlucky at the moment. Another great assist from Joe Chapman.
Yeah, Chapman here zips it round, and Defoe took a lot of contact, still went through it and knocked it down.
I'm right saying he's leading the league in assists, Daniel. He's really upped his game this year. Not only is he scoring, but I think he's averaging about 6 assists a game, Joe Chapman, and that's a credit. It just shows you MVPs of the league still working hard to improve on all that facets of their game.
6.2, the number 1 and number 2 in the assist charts in this game. The other one being a great block by Kareem Maddox, being Chavis Holmes, who's second in the league with 5.8 assists per game. Smith pulls up just inside the free throw line. Oh, Cricelli almost lost it out of bounds, turns it over. He just sort of bobbled it. Chapman for 3, long rebound, another offensive rebound for Maddox. And Smith going to the hole is foul, but Heat really should have come up with that ball on a couple of occasions.
That's a killer there. Newcastle really crashing the boards there. Surrey just got to regroup as a defensive unit, box their man out, and get after that rebound.
Well, Kareem Maddox grabbed his 8th offensive rebound on this play. Just to put that in context, there have only been 16 rebounds at that end of the floor. He's got 8 of them, and Surrey have the other 8.
Daniel, you know, you've got to give Kareem Maddox all the credit. I mean, to be honest with you, he had 10 offensive boards against us only last week. So, you know, it's not a fluke. The guy really goes after the offensive board.
2-2 for Charles Smith. He's got 4 from 4.
Margai crossing the halfway line. Gets it to Cricelli. Frank Holmes at the elbow. Going to the hole. This time he gets it. Maybe using the glass is the key.
Frank Holmes to 6.
Here's Maddox driving baseline. Cricelli just got beaten on the first step there, and it's always likely to end in a foul in that sort of scenario.
The big man putting it on the floor. I mean, you know, he can do so many things.
Chavis Holmes back in for Julius Joseph.
Second foul on the game, and Cricelli as Joseph sits down and Chavis Holmes comes back in. First free throw does not go for Kareem Maddox, who went 0 for 2 on his previous trip to the free throw line. And he does get the 4th one to go in.
13 points. 2 minutes to go to the half-time interval. It's a 10-point difference.
Travis Holmes in the horn set, screens left and right, gets it to Frank Holmes. Margai penetrates, back to Frank Holmes. Cricelli's in the corner, shot clock down to 4. Cricelli has to shoot it here. Crowd counted down, he passed it when there wasn't time for the pass, and certainly not time for Margai to bobble it.
24 seconds of Eagles defense.
Sam Cricelli probably having one of his best seasons I've ever seen him play, Daniel. I mean, he's knocking down shots, getting to the basket, and he's just trying to find his rhythm in this game at the moment.
Newcastle leading by 10. They came into this quarter lead. Good hands to knock it away. They came in leading by 8. Their lead will be cut to 8 as Chavis Holmes dunks it in. But when you think back to that first 7 points of the quarter, they've got to get the pass in here, and they turn it over. Travis Holmes saves it. In fact, he was fouled by Charles Smith. And and they just got caught 2-on-2 up court. Nobody helped out for Newcastle, and it turns out to be a turnover and a foul.
I think that's a momentum changer right there, Daniel. A quick turnover, quick 2 points, and now possession. Surrey need to make the most out of this right now.
Well, yeah, I was just trying to say how the lead had gone out to 10, having cut down to 1, but it could go to 6 here as Travis Holmes takes it to the basket and draws the foul.
Big possession. Darius
Defoe's first personal foul. Holmes to the line shooting a couple. First one is a little bit short. Well, he hasn't really looked like a guy that this time yesterday was in Charlotte, I think he was, North Carolina. He had a long old flight, turned up, of course I say that, he misses free throws, turned up at 8 o'clock this morning, and suddenly out on court, looks in decent shape, doesn't he?
He does indeed. I mean, he looks certainly ready to play, but it is tough to come off such a long flight from Charlotte. But he's just getting warmed up, it looks like.
I'm sure the jet lag will kick in at some point later today. Smith fires up, tough shot, bobbles out. Holmes going after it, and Chapman's going to be called for his first foul of the game.
Chapman. First on Chapman.
They were both going after the ball, and it's a bit of a collision. And more often than not, whoever looked most likely to get the ball draws the foul.
Chavis.
40 seconds to go here in the first half. Travis Holmes penetrates, slips, ball loose, comes out to Margai. Margai drives in, throws it right to Maddox, and Maddox will pressure it down. Court go past, he travelled with it though. Good work from Travis Holmes to make him pick the ball up earlier than he wanted to. Here's another look at it, Gavin.
Chavis never had possession.
Yeah, I've got to agree with the officials there. Just that you know, he took 3 steps. It was just a bit of a bobble of the ball, and he took it that early step, I think. It just didn't look right to me, Daniel. What do you think?
Well, that's the thing. It didn't look right. Whether it is right or not, it's about possession. It looked like a trouble.
It's very difficult for the officials there, but I think I'll side with the officials there.
Plus, he picks the ball up just inside the 3-point line and manages to dunk it without dribbling. That's
he's got long strides, Daniel. He's got long strides.
Well, he didn't agree with it. He's still chatting with the referee about it. They're just running time down here. Shot clock and game clock almost identical. And the Heat looking for the final shot of the first half. Now he goes with 5, Holmes. All the way to the hole, that's a goaltend. It was late call, but it was the right call. Martin threw it the length of the court, and it almost went in. But it was a good call by the official. Once it's hit the glass, you've got to let it hit the ring, and he didn't.
Absolutely. I'd rather it was late and right, Daniel.
And they're going to just bring Frank Holmes in to make sure that they can't get one last score. 1.7 seconds. So time for a dribble before you shoot.
Good for Travis Holmes. He goes to 4.
Martin. They're going to throw it long to Smith. Smith catches it, takes that dribble, fires up, and hits the ring not too far away, but well defended by Margai. Well, it's 6 points between them here at halftime. We've seen spells for both of these teams, but Newcastle go in with the lead. I guess that means they're the happiest of the two teams?
I would think so, but at the same time, I look at Newcastle. They've just missed a few shots they perhaps would normally make, but their offense is looking good. They're passing the ball well. They're getting those open looks, which I'm sure they're going to knock down. And Surrey Heat are very tenacious, and like we said before, they're also looking good inside, but they've just got to make those around the basket, 2 points, and they've been a bit unlucky, I feel, in the first half, but it's looking like a fantastic game. I haven't seen the stats, but I would imagine the turnover count is pretty high, and I'm sure both coaches will be talking about that.
Well, we're at the half here at the Surrey Sports Park. It's the Heat 38, the Eagles 44. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park. Myself and Gavin have been looking over the stats at halftime. Charles Smith, 4 of 17, 1 of 7 from behind the 3-point line. Joe Chapman, 1 of 7 0 of 5 from behind the three-point line. They're missing Huffman and Flanoy through injury, and they still lead by 6.
I was exactly going to say that. They're still up by 6 points. Flav Horner's going to be looking at it and thinking, we're up by 6 points and my team can play so much better. So he's got to be filled with a lot of confidence there.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you just kind of think, well, they got 2 guys out injured. Their 2 best players are not shooting the ball very well, and yet somehow they've found a way to lead pretty much throughout this game. Here's Chapman from behind the arc, and he continues to struggle from behind the line. 0 for 6 now for Joe Chapman. And the one thing you were saying when you looked at Charles Smith, 4 of 17, he never shoots like that against you, Gavin.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't at all. I mean, he's been on fire more times than I care to count.
Julius Joseph hits one from behind the arc, halves the lead. Here's Smith, little bobble of the ball, keeps hold of it though, little fall away, that one's short. Here comes Margai. Margai, little drive to the hole off the glass, and just as they did at the start of the second, they've cut it to 1.
Tough shot, tough start. You know, they're doing a great job just bringing the energy. Newcastle are going to have to match it.
Chapman. Margai, too much energy on that, right up in the face of Joe Chapman, call for the foul.
Yeah, he's a very good perimeter defensive player, Albert. A little bit too enthusiastic on that play, though.
Chapman to him back, Defoe makes himself available. Martin now. Round the screen, gets it to Smith. Smith drives in, kicks it to Maddox. Ball loose, got to shoot here. Chapman's got to fire it up, it's too late. That's after the buzzer. 24-second violation. Good challenging from the Heat there. They kept chasing after it.
Just being physical and bringing that energy, as we spoke about at half-time. The Surrey Heat are doing a fantastic job on defense.
And now Surrey have the chance to take the lead here. I'm trying to think back, did they lead in the... I don't think they've led in this game. Maybe the opening basket. Cricelli has his shot blocked, so they won't take the lead. Here's Chapman. Joseph got a hand on that, came off Defoe last. Defoe is arguing that, but from where I was stood, it looked like it did come off Darius last. Let's have another look. The pass comes in, it's definitely deflected, or it's hard to tell from there.
It's difficult.
In real time, it looked like the referee got that right. Javis Holmes driving in, good challenge from Defoe. Another rebound for Maddox.
Maddox running the point guard position now.
And again, going all the way to the basket, throws it up, it goes in, that one count, what a play from Kareem Maddox, took the bump and somehow got the shot to go.
I mean, what can you say about that? Your centre, your 4-5 man, dribbles it 94 feet, crosses somebody over, gets the bump, fade away basket. I mean, great move, great move.
Tremendous player from a tremendous athlete. Now he's going to try and convert the three-point play, which he does. Stretches the Eagles' lead back to 4. Joseph dumping it into Holmes. Backs out. Chavis Holmes up top, around the screen. Shot clock getting low now as he penetrates, jumps off to Frank. Holmes off the glass again. That's definitely the effective way. And Surrey still hanging about here. Here's Maddox, who isn't hanging about as he looks to attack the basket. Chapman, round to Smith. Guarded by Joseph. 2 veterans of the BBL going head-to-head. Smith gets the shot off. Wow, tough one.
Unstoppable then, unstoppable. He really needs to get it going now, Charles Smith.
Joseph to reply with the 3 is short. Defoe gets the rebound. Maddox. Spinning his Smith again, and he's starting to heat up.
This is more like the Charles Smith that I recognise. Yeah, he's really getting it going now.
17 points for Charles Smith, the game's leading scorer, just overtaking his teammate Maddox. Holmes had a little bobble, got it up, and the tip from Cricelli doesn't quite go. Ball is loose. Eventually Charles Smith has it. Maddox again, you've got to pick him up in transition. Out to Smith. Short on that one. Defoe, good bat to keep that alive. Chapman, good defense from Margai. Shot doesn't go. Ooh, almost stolen away by Maddox, who does pick his pocket in the end. Chapman waits for the cavalry to arrive. I think Defoe and Smith were waiting to see if they were going to go straight for the basket there. Smith says, I'll go if you don't, and Joseph called for the foul. Got Coach Raftopoulos up to his feet pretty quickly. He wasn't sure about that one.
Well, it's a tough one. There's a lot of contact there, but it's been a tough game. Let's have another look at it.
The thing is, he's got some ball at the top, but I think he's got arm as well.
He has, but I think that the earlier contact on the drive has probably swayed the referee there.
Charles Smith gets a nice bounce off the front of the ring to rattle that one in. Second one is clean. Eagles by 7 midway through the third period. Heat had it down to 1, but the Eagles edged away again. Frank Holmes cuts to the hole again.
Great flash to the basket by Frank Holmes, and another assist for Chavez.
Chavis with his 5th assist.
Chapman, good pass into Maddox, under pressure from Holmes, can't convert, gets his own rebound, finishes at the second attempt. And the lead is eked back out to 8. Seems like the Heat start every quarter, cut it down to 1, and then Newcastle take it right back as Darius Defoe is whistled for the foul on Frank Holmes.
Frank Holmes bulldozing his way to the hole there.
First against Newcastle this period.
He was going to the basket, whatever Defoe did. Frank Holmes off right with the first free throw. Only the second trip to the line for the Heat in this ball game. And they've yet to make one. 0 for 4 as a team. Martin, that's a must-make shot really, because there's never going to be any rebounders in that situation. Travis Holmes, perhaps over-rearranged there. Smith kept it in bounds. Chapman has numbers, finds Maddox, and he finishes, no, he doesn't finish off the glass. Looked like it was going in, but bobbled out. Still an 8-point lead to the Eagles. Frank Holmes up on the 3-point line. Joseph has it now. Joseph zips it across to Simek from about 17 feet in the corner. Smith to Defoe. Chapman cutting to the basket. Great play. Good step and good feed.
Really attacking the middle of the floor there. Great feed there.
Holmes trying to get it out to his brother, who almost steals it away from Maddox. Maddox under pressure now, and Martin helps him out. Defoe cuts to the basket. Simic was caught between two men there. Couldn't really dive out of it, but he did get the rebound.
It's a great back pick from Darius Defoe, and then cut to the basket.
Holmes flushes it down. He saw only Anthony Martin in there, and there was no denying him on that occasion. Maddox has it knocked away, but Defoe comes up with it. Chapman left alone in the paint. Defoe with the offensive rebound, and he draws the foul. Simek almost punches the ball in frustration there.
Foul scored on Peter Simek.
I think most frustrating from Surrey's point of view there is that they allowed Defoe an easy rebound.
Well, the big guys are certainly crashing the glass and taking it hard to the basket today, as we saw Frank Holmes there.
Timeout called by Fab Flanoy and the Newcastle Eagles, his side leading by 6. Back out come the two teams from the timeout. 3:07 to go here in the third quarter. 57-51, Newcastle currently lead it, but they can stretch this advantage a little further with Darius Defoe from the free throw line. And he does make the first. Home fans doing their best to try and put him off, but to no effect. Travis Holmes brings it cross court. Raftopoulos for 3! He came on in the first half and filled it up. He's doing it exactly again.
He's been the difference. This young man is super confident at the moment, and every time he touches it, he wants to make things happen.
Foul called on the floor. Raftopoulos, I think, is going to be called for it.
First against Kenyon, fifth against the Kings period.
He's just a word with the official because he wanted some explanation on that. I don't know if he thought it was a chicken wing or something on it. It looked like a defensive foul. Over the limit in this period, so Martin will go to the free throw line. Shooting a pair, first one is good. Second one bobbles about but does go in. Travis Holmes. Simek trying to find some space in the low post, but there isn't any. Travis Holmes drives baseline, gets it to Raftopoulos. Thought about the long three, decided against it, took the two instead. Holmes is in there battling for it. Newcastle eventually come down with it. Maddox, still Maddox. How many times has he gone coast to coast? That time he couldn't get the shot off. Travis Holmes. Short on that. Simek read it the air ball well and grabbed the rebound. Too strong on the glass though. Chapman from behind the arc, doesn't go. Good work again by Maddox to keep it alive. Smith has it. Smith against Raftopoulos, he's got the size there. Smith trying to make him pay, but can't convert. Raftopoulos has it in the corner, turns down the shot, Simek gets it, and it's Holmes up top. Holmes from behind the arc for three, not quite. Maddox pulls in yet another rebound. That's his 17th of the game, by the way. Chapman, long two doesn't go. Chapman struggling with his jumper today. Simek drives in, absolutely runs down Anthony Martin. You won't see an easier charge call than that.
No, that was a, you know, he knew it was coming. It was a great stand by Anthony Martin.
I mean, he was long time planted.
He was. The Eagles have really stepped up their D. They're doing a fantastic job down there. Their team defense, as always, is great. But they've just got to get something going down here. They seem to be, you know, missing a lot of shots, which is not like them.
Martin calling the play, gets it to Maddox. Smith trying to back down on Travis Holmes off the glass, not quite, knocked loose by Maddox. Smith had it, Travis Holmes steals it away from him though. And here's Travis Holmes, and he's absolutely hammered. That could well be an unsportsmanlike foul. Certainly that's what the Surrey bench are asking for. We'll see what the referee decides. No, just a regular foul. He hit him very hard.
It's always a difficult one, Daniel. To be honest, I think it's the right call. I like to see, you know, putting guys on the line, but it's difficult. I wouldn't be surprised which way it was called, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is in the old days, that was just a regular no layup foul. But in more recent times, with the nuancing of the laws, you've seen those given as unsportsmanlike.
I've seen a lot less given as unsportsmanlike, to tell you the truth, but I must say I'm a bit old school. I like the call that the referee's given there.
Travis Holmes makes them both. 30 seconds to go here in the third period. It's a 5-point game. Martin has it for Newcastle. He should, barring an offensive rebound, of which we've seen a lot in this game, get one back. Here's Maddox, drives in, and oh, I thought he was going to reverse dunk it there. And there's a man down on the floor. It's Holmes. I think he's been caught in the lower midriff, they might say.
Ouch.
Well, it's an impromptu timeout here for both teams. There's another look. See, it looked there like he just caught a knee, but actually he swung it round. Actually, he's holding his wrist after all of that.
I don't think we could be more wrong there. It does look like his hand. Yeah, his hand or his wrist. Maybe on the impact from the fall.
Well, he's on the end of the bench with ice on that wrist. And meanwhile, back out on court, there's 15.1 seconds to go. You can see he's continuing to get treatment, Travis Holmes there. A chance for Surrey to have the final shot of this third period. Crichelli offers the screen. Travis Holmes, little shake and bake, is blocked by Maddox. That's what Maddox does.
He does indeed. Great timing, great timing. Just so long.
Well, as it was, it's almost a repeat of the second quarter there. The Heat came out firing, first 7 points, cut it down to 1 point, and then Newcastle just pulled it back out to 7.
I think Newcastle, Fab will be probably saying that now, let's be ready. Let's be ready this quarter, because each quarter, like you said, they've come out firing and they've just got to withhold that first onslaught.
Well, game's still in the balance, but Newcastle looking the more likely here at Surrey Sports Park. It's the end of 3, Eagles by 7, fourth quarter action when we return. Welcome back to Surrey Sports Park. Two teams back out and ready for the start of the fourth quarter. Surrey will start with the ball and some work to do, trailing by 7. Travis Holmes will play point guard while his brother is on the bench with a wrist problem after a heavy fall. And he can't touch that, Holmes. He let it go to Crichelli. It would have been a travel. Here's Joseph, shot clock getting low. Joseph fires up for 2, it's off the ring, and there's another rebound for Kareem Maddox. He's got 9 offensive, 9 defensive, and 20 points to boot. Smith fires up for 3, and he's now the leading scorer with 22.
Smith goes to 22 points, 10 points to the Eagles.
Here's Raftopoulos. Trying to find some room, can't shake off Martin, does get some space, finds Frank Holmes, and he's caught from behind for 2.
He's penetrating, dishing. What a great move by the young man, fantastic. Frank Holmes, great finish, and 1. Just probing the defense there with his dribble.
Third personal foul on Charles Smith. Frank Holmes with the bonus free throw, which doesn't go, and Chapman grabs the rebound. Chapman. Martin skips it round to Charles Smith, fires up for another three. This one doesn't go. Frank Holmes is first to it. Crucelli. Quiet evening for Sam Crucelli. Travis Holmes from behind the arc for three, cuts it to 5.
The next week's triple goes to 9. 5 points difference.
Chapman turns the corner, drives in, under pressure, bobbles about. Maddox making a nuisance of himself, but he'd come down with it. Raftopoulos curls out to the corner for 3 and hits. Back-to-back threes by the Heat. It's a 2-point game.
Wow, I think we're in for a treat this last 8 minutes. The Heat came out yet again early in the quarter, knocking down shots. Fantastic.
Well, there was only one thing on Raftopoulos' mind. As soon as they got the ball, the Heat, he was running to the corner for a three-pointer, knocks it down, and yet again they've started a period hot. The Surrey Heat cut it to only 2 here at the Sports Park. Newcastle Eagles calling a timeout here, and well, if Coach Raftopoulos could get the sort of effort and offensive firepower that his team have delivered in the first couple of minutes of each of the quarters, they'd be well in the lead here. Just can't seem to sustain, so could this be the moment? What do they have to do, Gavin, to sustain this momentum that they've once again captured early in the quarter?
I think it's at the defensive end, Daniel. I mean, they're getting defensive rebounds, they're getting the hand in, they're getting steals, they're putting a lot of pressure on the Newcastle offense and getting easy looks at the other end, which said 2 wide open 3-point shots, which they've managed to make, and it's made all the difference.
Well, back out come the two teams, and it's Raftopoulos, who's probably only on the court at this moment in time because of that injury to Travis Holmes, who's moved to the coach's end of the bench, which is usually a good sign that he feels okay to go back in. He was down the far end of the bench, but he's up sat near coach just to remind him he's there. Here's Joe Chapman driving in. Maddox with the mid-range jumper. What a phenomenal game Kareem Maddox has had.
He's had a fantastic game, but at the same time, young Raftopoulos there, you want to keep him in the game. He's having a fantastic game, he really is. Passing the ball well and knocking down open shots.
Here he is again from behind the arc. Oh, he was chasing back like he thought that was going in. Between Crucelli and Frank Holmes, they grab an offensive rebound there. Travis Holmes with the pull-up, he knew it was short. It bounced all the way out to Raftopoulos. Third chance opportunity now for the Heat. Raftopoulos round the screen, has Joseph in the corner, steps in, still Joseph with the spin, blocked by Defoe. Home fans wanting a foul, nothing doing. Martin. Chapman. Maddox. Smith given some space, fires up for 3 and he hits. Big shot, Charles Smith.
Can't get caught behind those screens there. Great shot from Charles Smith.
25 now for Charles Smith. Oh, a little stop and go from Travis Holmes. He's got tremendous body control when he splits through the defense and just hangs on in the air, moves the ball.
It shows the class of Charles Smith. We're talking about he's having a below average game, but yet he still has 25 points with almost 7 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, 25 points, 8 rebounds for Smith. Shooting numbers not great, but finding ways to score when his team need him to.
Super clutch, Daniel.
Heat struggling from the free throw line today. That's their 6th miss in only 8 attempts. There's Travis Holmes still holding that wrist, but that pass a little high for Smith. Not loose by Travis Holmes. Smith keeps it though, drives to the hole, doesn't go, rebound, Frank Holmes. Travis Holmes fakes at the three, tried to find Frank Holmes, who was just open for a second. Newcastle's defense recovered and knocked it loose, and Travis Holmes is getting ready to check back into the game for Kalen Raftopoulos, who's had a fine game with 13 points to his name. Oh, it's turned over straight away. Maddox drives baseline. Oh, he's just played sensationally, Kareem Maddox.
He
doing
really
everything.
He really has.
Holmes on the trail. Holmes with a little crossover, diving on the floor to keep it alive. Heat still have it. Frank Holmes squares up, steps back, got caught on the shot by Defoe, and Frank Holmes will go to the line for two. Defoe trying to close out the foul shot, just the 15-foot shot, just caught him on the arm. And Frank Holmes will go to the free throw line, where the Heat have had their woes today, and they continue. 30% from the free throw line. Oh, 3 of 11.
It's one of those things as a coach you really can't control, but just practice, practice, practice. It's a tough one.
Chapman drives, bouncing it back to Maddox. Smith fires up from behind the arc again, not this time. Easy rebound for Holmes. Travis Holmes. Into Frank Holmes, knocked loose by Defoe. Newcastle have numbers here, 3-on-1. Back to Smith, and Smith will lay it in. Timeout called. And again, same scenario we've seen in every quarter. First couple of minutes, Heat come up, out firing. Next couple of minutes, Newcastle build the lead back up.
Well, you know, Newcastle have that experience. They're just clinical, and they make big shots and have big runs. It's back out to 10 points.
Certainly is, and plenty for the Heat to do. And really, the thing about it is they've shown they are able to go on a run, to close down the Eagles for a few minutes, but the problem is that it only lasts for a few minutes.
Well, I think it is a cliche, Daniel, but every coach will always tell you that, you know, he wants his team to play for 40 minutes, and I don't think there's a coach in the league who would say that their team does. But Surrey have proved that they're a top-level team and they can compete with somebody like Newcastle. They're playing great basketball, but you're right, I'm sure that the coach Creon will be saying, look, let's get back to what we were doing, you know, only 1.5 minutes ago.
Well, that's the hard thing, is how do you when it just happened a minute ago, how do you turn it into sustainment?
It's tough, but I'm sure that they've spoken over there, and I expect them to come out guns blazing.
Well, back out they come. They've got 5 minutes and some change here to overcome this 10-point lead. Holmes directing traffic. Stolen away by Martin. And that's not what you want coming out of a timeout.
No, it's a great steal. And
but it's a turnover back the other way. Chapman kept it alive. Here's the home twins out on the break. And you fancy they've done that once or twice. Smith. Smith spins back the other way, off the glass, doesn't quite go. Defoe with the offensive rebound, tosses it back in. Javis Holmes, little stop and go. Driving along baseline, gets it to Frank. Crucelli. Almost lost it, did well to keep that dribble alive. Zipped it into Frank Holmes, little short, tipped up by Javis Holmes, and Travis Holmes called for the foul.
Just suffocating Newcastle defense. Great job.
Final score 31, Travis Holmes.
Just getting up between the arms and foul. Again, easy to call. Sam Cuccelli sitting down, Simek back into the game. But Newcastle, well, we said it before, they find ways to win, don't they?
They certainly do.
Star shooters haven't shot very well. They've scored, certainly in the case of Smith, they've scored a lot. They're missing 2 guys through injury, and they're away at a team that it isn't easy to win away at. And they certainly look like, for all the world, that this game is in the bag for them now. Chapman inside, great pass from Martin. Chapman finishes and will go to the line for a bonus.
It's a great pass there, great pass, Manson, nice backdoor cut, great finish.
Timeout has been called with a few minutes left in this ball game. Whilst the players take a break, we will too. More action when we return. Welcome back to Surrey Sports Park. Joe Chapman at the line, looking for only his 7th point of the game. Not finding it, but the rebound comes all the way to him. And Frank Holmes does grab it at the 2nd attempt. That's just not boxing out. Free throw shooter should never get his own rebound. Here's Holmes inside, jams it down. Darius Defoe turns around to his coach and said, yeah, that was my fault. I gambled on the double team. Martin penetrates to the whole block. Great block by Travis Holmes. Knocked that one onto the board. That's why that's a legal block. Travis Holmes can't convert. Julius Joseph gets a rebound. Simek. Travis Holmes. I think he was trying to draw some contact. Frank Holmes inside says, this is how you lay it in. Cuts it to 10. 2.5 to play. Maddox drives, kicks it to Defoe. Defoe with the mid-range jumper short. Rebound Travis Holmes. And Defoe is called for the foul. He has a look of shock on his face, but when you're running past the other guy and he ends up on the floor, you're going to get called for the foul. And that is the 5th and final foul on Darius Defoe. Here's another look. Well, there was contact, and if the other guy ends up on the floor, you're going to get called for the foul.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's up. If he doesn't go down, the referee obviously doesn't call that.
11.7 rebounds for Defoe. Joseph, this has to go in for 3. It doesn't. Simek with the offensive rebound, and they'll take the 2. It's down to 8 with just over 2 to play. It's not beyond the realms of possibility.
They've come out of that timeout with energy and effort, a bit of full court pressure now.
Big shot from Chapman for 3. Maddox with another rebound, and Maddox is immediately fouled. And really, that's summed the game up. Kareem Maddox on the glass, dominating things. Won't be free throws, it'll be a sideline possession, which Smith has. And Smith will fire up for 3, and that'll be a dagger.
Oh, that's a killer. That's a killer. Great defense by Julius Joseph, but what are you going to do about that?
Yeah.
It's almost a double clutch 3-point shot.
Travis Holmes takes it to the basket. Where do you stand on a triple-double? Does it count as a triple-double if you get double-figure offense and defensive rebounds?
Oh, absolutely. For me, it does.
Because Kareem Maddox has done that. He's in double figures for offensive rebound, double figures for defensive rebounds, and chipped in with 24 points as well. That's a bit high. That almost, I could have caught that.
I was trying to throw that at me there, it looked like. How many blocks does he have, Daniel? 4, 5?
3.
3 blocks, oh, okay.
Peter Simek takes the one over 10 points to Peter Simek. 8 rebounds to Arizona State.
No, you were right first time, it is 4. Holmes penetrates in, fires up high. Ball is loose, comes out to Raftopoulos. And Travis Holmes gets knocked to the floor there as he goes to the basket. And well, I think it's fair to say Ignorant gets his value out of his fouls. First one is good for Travis Holmes, but with a minute to play, there's still 10 points between them. Thrown along to Charles Smith, to Chapman, and foul is on Travis Holmes, and that's how to break full court press.
It is indeed. I mean, it was a bit of a risky pass there, but they pulled it off, and now they go to the line.
Joe Chapman at the free throw line, shooting a pair with a minute to go. He struggled today, find his range, but it hasn't really mattered for the Newcastle Eagles. They've had enough in this, well, at the top of the show I called it relentless pursuit of the 6th title. A lot was made of the fact they lost to Cheshire at home, which was a shock victory, no doubt about it, but both Leicester and Newcastle still have the title in their own hands with 2 meetings to go, both of them in Leicester, interestingly enough.
It's certainly going to be tough at Leicester, but you know, you certainly wouldn't bet against Newcastle. They have it's in their hands. But you say shock. I think there's a lot of good teams in this league, Daniel, and I think anybody can get anybody on any given day.
Here's Maddox, and he lays in for 2. Great game Kareem Maddox has had.
My MVP for the game today.
Holmes draws some contact. He will go to the line for a couple of free throws, but it's academic now with only 38 seconds to go. And the thing about Newcastle is you look at the fixture list that they've got remaining, and yes, they have to go to Leicester twice, but it's hard to see when they play like this with their 2 superstars not shooting very well, 2 guys out injured, how are they going to lose a game?
Well, it's tough to see how they would. Like you said, they haven't played fantastic today, but when it's the games on the line, they've really stepped up, and that's where they are. I mean, all credit to Surrey. They've done a fantastic job. I think, especially Frank Holmes inside has been a beast, and as well as Simic really battling. But at the same time, when you've got Joe Chapman and Charles Smith knocking down big-time shots, it's tough to see how they'll lose.
Well, a timeout has been called. This game's virtually in the book, so we can concentrate on the league title run-in, and obviously Leicester's success has cost them in terms of the fixture pilot. They've still got a couple of trophy semi-finals to play, possibility of a final should they get past Worcester, although that's no given, and then they still have the same number of games as Newcastle have left in the league. So I mean, it's one of those things. We saw Mersey a few years ago. It helped them in some ways. They won all those games at the end of the season when they start playing 3 games in a week, but I know you guys suffered from that last year with the fixture pilot.
It is tough, Daniel. I mean, you said with Mersey and ourselves last year, I think we had something like 5 games in 9 because of the success of getting to the trophy final and the cup final. But at the same time, you know, we can sit and say, oh, it's a lot of games, but I'd rather be in finals and play more games. So it is difficult, but at the same time, if you're successful in this league, you're going to have to fit in extra games at some point. So it's to credit to Leicester that they've got those games because they've done so well this season.
And you do get the sense that those 2 games between Leicester and Newcastle will go a long way to decide. Remember, if the teams finish level at the top of the table, the head-to-head decides it. Leicester 1-0 up, having won our opening game of the season here on Sky Sports up in Newcastle. So still have the 2 home games to play, and looming large, last game of the season, Leicester versus Newcastle.
Yeah, that's worth the price of admission. That'll be a great game. At the same time, Daniel, I really don't want the season to go to a head-to-head. I'd love to see another final. I think people would love to see it too.
I would imagine if it does come down to that sort of scenario, it will actually just be a winner-takes-all last game of the season.
Yeah.
But there's still an awful long way to go in that race. Many twists and turns still possible, but no doubt that Newcastle Eagles have won here today. No doubt Kareem Maddox with 26 points and 20 rebounds, 10 at either end, has been the dominant force in this game.
It's been a good game. It really has. The Surrey have done a great job, and just a glass of Newcastle there in the 4th quarter. Great game.
Tremendous performance from the Newcastle Eagles. They've come here short-handed. They've won by 12. It's finished at the Sports Park. Surrey Heat 78, Newcastle Eagles 90. Well, Fab, your 2 shooters don't shoot spectacular numbers. You've got 2 men out injured, and yet you still come out with a 12-point win. It's tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't our best game, but we had a lot of energy, and we did it on the defensive end, and defense created a lot of offense for us tonight.
And it helps to have Kareem Maddox on the team as well.
Yeah, I mean, he was a mutant tonight, and, you know, in the way that he played, I mean, he affected the game on both ends of the court, played with a lot of energy, and, you know, it's just great when a player has a game like that.
You don't often see a guy get double-figure rebounds at both ends of the floor.
No, you don't, and I'm just glad, and you know that he did it tonight and did it for our side. And you know the thing is, you know, he did it in a spectacular form because he also, you know, was, you know, a great defender and pursuing and trying to keep, you know, the Holmes and Julius or Crescelli or whichever one that he was on, trying to keep them quiet, because he also had, I think it was about 4 or 5 block shots in that as well.
And Charles Smith didn't have his best shooting night, but still managed to put a big number up on the board.
I mean, Charles, and that's what in particular, that's what I like. I think he just lulled the defense to sleep and think that he was going to have a bad game, and then it was boom, you know, Prince Charles is back, and, you know, and better than ever. I mean, he shoots the basketball particularly well here. Myself and Forrester was on the sideline at the end. The assistant coach talking about, well, we should hold out. I was like, no, Charles is about to leg. He said, no, and it goes in. I say, yes, for the 3-point shot. But it's great when you have, you know, a veteran leader in Charles Smith, and also it's great when you have the injection of young players like Maddox. So, you know, this was a big win for us. Moving forward now, hopefully myself and Damon Huffman can get back, and, you know, we can start the season again.
Well, Creon, you guys seem to start each of the quarters really well, but couldn't sustain it on through.
I think maybe just a little bit of jet lag with Travis. Probably played him too much, you know, but, you know, he gives us a little something that we never had, which is obviously the drive to the basket, then we get the kick out for the shot. All in all, we know they're a great team. I'm just a little disappointed we couldn't make our free throws. We make a lot of our free throws, make a lot of those little layups under the basket, and I think it's a different ball game. But, you know, that's why they're the champions, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, in that first quarter, you had a whole bunch of them. It was almost like you were on the road. You got no home court role at all with them bobbling out.
No, not at all. And the thing about it is, you know, you look and you go like, great, we got a whole lot of offensive rebounds, but it's from all our little chippies under the basket. I think we scored a little bit better in the second half under the basket, and you know, just they made a run whenever they need, you know, at the right times. They matched us with each time they came out of a timeout. When we got it down to 2, they made a big play, executed well, and we just had no answer for that.
But there's still a lot of games left to be played in the season. You must like the makeup of your team now going into the stretch run.
When Chavis went down, I was doubting the makeup of my team. You know, it's been one of those seasons where injuries have just like, it's been start-stop. You know, people might not understand that we've had to have 3 different styles of play during the course of one season to accommodate the personnel that we have. But I like my guys. You know, I feel that they've got the heart and desire. We've just got to find a way to keep them fresh, because I think having the short rotation maybe is catching up now at the later end of the season. But, you know, we can hold on to a playoff spot, and once you're in a playoff spot, you still have a chance to win the playoffs.
Well, Gavin, if we look back over the course of this game, there were some distinct stages early on. Newcastle looking dominant, Maddox particularly on the glass.
Maddox was fantastic, I believe. 10 offensive rebounds, 3 or 4 shot blocks. You know, he's driving to the basket. He was relentless the whole game, and for me, he was the difference. I thought Surrey did a great job, but they just couldn't contain him.
Yeah, and Newcastle got their noses in front, and then it was almost like a repetition every quarter. Surrey would come out with a hot hand. It was Raftopoulos early on. They got some from Holmes as well. They found different ways of scoring, but only for a couple of minutes.
Well, I think at the beginning of every single quarter, and also timeouts as well. Crean's done a fantastic job. They're getting these guys going. They came out with